Well, howdy, y'all. This is Clay.
And I'm Lloyd.
And this is Iron Sharpening Iron with the Kahler Boys on this January 30th. Good.
The 30th, man, and we missed something.
Did we?
Yeah, it was either the 28th or the 29th. I'm not real sure because I'm not in the group. There was supposed to be like a Revolutionary War.
Really?
You didn't hear about this?
No, I did not.
Hashtag cute winter boots. You didn't hear about it? For real? You hadn't heard none of this?
No.
Oh, you have got to get on social media.
I don't know
Type
if I want to.
You got to. Type in
Cute winter boots.
Cute winter boots. That's the hashtag for the liberal revolution that's going to happen because they're still so upset about this election.
Trump. Yeah.
And these executive orders.
Oh, yeah.
That are going down. You know.
Poor Selena. Oh, my God.
Doesn't
your heart just hurt for Selena?
I wasn't going to say a whole lot. I was going to, but not right at this moment. It's kind of, we don't never have a plan on this show.
You want to hear the funny thing about Selena? Is, yes, her dad is Mexican.
Second generation American Mexican.
Yeah.
Okay.
And her mom's Italian.
Yeah. Yeah. With Greek background or something.
With my people. Oh, my God.
Look here, man. With these executive orders and this fast action that we're seeing going on. God.
It's amazing.
It is.
You want to talk about Operation Warp Speed, and this has nothing to do with a
let's talk about the
antivirus.
75,000 children have been found.
I know it.
In days. What are we at? 6-7 days that they've implemented this?
Yeah. Well,
this is the 30th. It's the 10th day of the inauguration.
Yeah.
But they really didn't get started this till like day 2.
Okay, so 8 days. 8 days. In 8 days, 75,000 of the missing children.
In one ice raid, they busted 130,000 fentanyl bills. Do you know how much fentanyl it takes to kill you?
One.
Not even
one. Yeah.
Me and you and 6 other men could sit around this and bust one tablet up and all die. We could all take a lethal dose of fentanyl. Yeah. It all depends on the process in which it was used to make it. And it's all illegal, so it's like
it makes you wonder what Mayorkas was actually doing for the last 4 years.
Nothing. They were either
lying to the American people. That's all he was doing.
You can't convince me that they were just lying and ignoring it.
No.
No.
There's some intentionality.
There was some financial gain. Yeah. There was an incentive. They were complicit, or they had their hands dead off in the middle.
Agreed.
It's the only thing that makes sense. And
in 7, 8, or 9 days to have been able to accomplish everything they've accomplished. Tom Holman.
Holman's the beast.
You and I mean, we've been fans for a while now, but
Tom Holman rolled up to my door tomorrow. If he rolled up here right now and said, "I need you to come with me,"
let's go.
Yes, sir. Is what my answer would be. I'm not asking him where we're going. Nope. I'm going to make some phone calls on the way, so I know Brandy's taken care of. But my answer is yes, sir.
Yeah. And Christy Nome.
Oh
man, I'll tell you. Yeah, have you ever seen Mayorkas in any kind of a vest?
And then you listen to CNN. CNN talking about, she just wants to cosplay. Yeah. No, she's doing her job.
Yeah, I know it.
She's doing what the American people are paying.
Here's the thing, though. MSNBC, CNN, The View, they've never been in a job like that. So they don't know how valuable it is to have the boss on the ground.
That's right. In any job, really, any job. I used to work for Donnie Bates, for years. One of the things that made him such a good boss.
About to be a granddad.
Congratulations, Donnie Bates. He's joining the crew.
I'm telling you.
The pickle is having a baby. I wonder if it's going to be a gherkin, a little baby gherkin. Anyway, Donnie would be, he's hands-on.
Yeah.
And the worse the job got, the more critical, not just critical, because then any boss kind of gets in, the more of a...
If there was a pinch, he was the guy that jumped in and
always
picked up the slack.
And the more of a crappy job it was, the more he was involved.
Yeah.
The more of a hot and sweaty and stinky and running with stewards and doing that kind of stuff, he was involved. Where he could have very easily backed out because he's not only the boss, the owner of the company.
Yeah.
The boss is his wife. He's sleeping with the boss. He's kind of got an advantage. But he didn't, but to have that man on the ground, that right there with you, That's huge. And in that kind of job, absolutely. Where most of those bosses are hidden Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
Always
never.
And they operate from a desk. She's out there with boots on the ground.
I don't even know what my office did on a daily basis. And don't care. I really don't care.
Well, he didn't do anything.
No. And so you got Christy Nome outfitted up. She's kitted up out there in the field with her people doing the work. And, I've written several articles on leadership.
That's huge, dude. That's tremendous.
Yeah. And one of the principles, they're all those easy to read kind of articles, 10 principles of leadership kind of thing.
Right.
And one of the principles of leadership is get in the trenches with your people. Let them see you get dirty.
Yeah.
They will respect you.
You're not above them.
You're not allowed to stand on the edge looking down at them saying, hey, you do that over there.
I had a boss one time tell me, as I was becoming a boss, he was trying to kind of training me to be a boss and run through. And he told me, he said, never ask one of your people
to do something that you're not willing to do and that you haven't done.
Yeah, and he says, if you haven't done it, I can understand that. He said, but if you haven't done it, you ought to be in the middle of it for the first time.
Learn it.
For the first time, you need to be down in there and telling them, we are going to do this.
Yeah.
Not you.
Yeah.
We.
100%.
And I've used that kind of stuff.
Yeah. All right, let's do scripture of the day.
All right. We're already getting wound up.
I know it. I want to introduce you to one of my heroes. And this guy is he is an unlikely hero. Okay. So Peter and the apostles, they were in the temple. They were preaching. This was after they healed the man that was born lame, right? And they were snatched up by Caiaphas, the high priest, and the Sanhedrin, brought before the Sanhedrin. They were sharply rebuked and threatened and told, don't you ever preach in the name of Jesus again. And they were released.
That didn't work out.
Yeah. They immediately went back out and they were preaching in the name of Jesus. Well, then, so the Caiaphas and the high priest and his folks had them arrested. And this time they did. All right. So in the temple, they had holding cells, essentially.
Right.
But then right next door to the temple was the Roman garrison. And there was a common prison there. A regular prison. That's where the bad folks went. They had the apostles arrested and put in the common prison. Well, in the middle of the night, an angel shows up and opens the door, gets them out, closes the door back up. So the next morning, Caiaphas tells the captain of the guard, go get those idiots. So he goes down there to the prison, and they ain't there. He comes back, he says, I went down there, the prison's locked up tightly, the guards are standing outside, but they are not inside. Then someone else comes in and says, hey.
What are you knocking the ground?
My microphone, right?
Oh.
Someone else comes in and says, hey, those guys that you had in prison, yeah, they're in the temple preaching about Jesus. So the guards go, and it says,
this almost sounds like a Keystone Cop
episode,
dude.
This is all in Acts chapter 5. And it actually says this. So the captain of the guards went and got them without violence because they feared the crowd and didn't want to be stoned because they were so popular.
Right.
And they brought them in and real quick said, didn't we tell you? Didn't I tell you? And Peter says, we ought to obey men, God rather than men. The God of our fathers raised us up, whom you murdered by hanging on a tree. Him God has exalted to the right hand to be the Prince and Savior, to give repentance to Israel and forgiveness of sins. And Paul says, we're witnesses of this, and so is the Holy Spirit. Well, there's this fella. All right, so he's a Pharisee, and his name is Gamaliel. And Gamaliel says, all right, take these guys outside for a little bit. We're gonna have a closed door meeting. Gamaliel stands up. It starts with this. It says, then one in the council stood up, a Pharisee named Gamaliel, a teacher of the law, held in respect by all the people. So this is a high-ranking. Everyone likes this guy.
Well respected, no matter where they're standing.
Yeah, and I explained this last night as we were going through this. Think of the Sanhedrin just like Congress. All right.
Yeah.
You got the Republicans and the Democrats. You got the conservatives and the liberals.
I don't know why, but I think that word is just such a cool word. I like saying it.
Sanhedrin?
Sanhedrin.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's just a neat word. It just really is.
Well, and it's a powerful word. These were the leaders of Israel.
Yeah.
And so Caiaphas, the chief priest, is a Sadducee. And that's the liberal side.
That's kind of another fun word to say.
Yeah, Sadducee. So one of the reasons that Caiaphas and the Sadducees were so upset with Peter is that the Sadducees didn't believe in a physical resurrection.
Right.
They were liberals. They didn't believe in a literal resurrection, which is why they were sad. You see.
I see.
Yeah.
Did they know what a woman was? I think they did though.
They might not have been that liberal. Yeah.
I think they still knew what a woman was.
So Gamaliel is a Pharisee. He's one of the conservatives. And so he stands up, and a teacher of the law held in respect by all the people, and commanded them to put the apostles outside for a little while. And he said to them, to the Sanhedrin, he said, men of Israel, take heed to yourselves for what you intend to do regarding these men. They're plotting to kill them.
Right.
All right. He says, for some time ago, Theudius rose up, claiming to be somebody. A number of men, about 400, joined him. He was slain, and all who obeyed him were scattered and came to nothing. All right, so we had this situation. Theudius popped up. He says, hey, y'all, I'm a prophet. And he got 400 people to follow him. We smoked him, and they all scattered. Nothing came out of it.
Right.
He goes on. He says, here we go. After this man, Judas of Galilee rose up in the days of the census and drew away many people after him. He also perished, and all who obeyed him were dispersed. So what he's saying is, if this is, when false prophets pop up,
this is a fad.
You cut the head off the snake and the body dies. And now I say to you, keep away from these men and let them alone. For if this plan or this work is of men, it will come to nothing.
Right. It'll fizzle. It'll fade. It'll go away.
You had Theudius. He had a crowd. We smoked him. His crowd went away.
Dude, how many times
you had Judas
in modern history have we had that?
Yeah.
People come up and say, I'm the Christ.
Yeah,
I'm
Jim
Jesus.
Jones.
Jim Jones.
So many.
Yeah, there's lots of them.
So then you had Judas of Galilee pop up. We smoked him, and they went away. Then we had Jesus of Nazareth pop up. We smoked him. Let's see if they go away. All right, and listen to what he says next. So this is what really gets it for me. And then I'm gonna share a little something with you from history. He says, let them alone. If this plan and work is of men, it will come to nothing. But if it is of God, you cannot overthrow it, lest you even be found to fight against God.
Good luck.
Yeah, this is a Pharisee, a member of the Sanhedrin, high-ranking member of the Sanhedrin. And he says, look, if this is man-made, it's going to go away.
It'll be
just like it always has.
It'll fizzle and go away, and it'll be a distant memory.
But this man acknowledged the possibility that Jesus was who he said he was, and that his followers were following him. And he said, just give it a couple of days. If this is not of God, it'll fizzle out. If it is of God, do you really want to be fighting God right now? And then they all agreed with him. And when they had called the apostles and beaten them, well, now wait a minute. They all agreed with him. He said, leave these men alone. They'd still beat him. The reason Gamaliel is one of my heroes, though.
Is your need of winter boots this season?
I'm listening.
I can tell.
No, I am. It's the reason why he's your hero. I can do multitasking.
Yeah.
I'm a father of 8 children and a grandfather of 8. And yeah, I can multitask.
So it says in here that he was a teacher of the law, highly respected, right? Well, he had a particular student, and this student's name was Saul of Tarsus. He was Paul's mentor. I believe that very much like Joseph of Arimathea, who was also a Pharisee, Gamaliel was a believer.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's scripture of the day.
All right. Well, what I was looking up while I was being rude, my apologies, is what we were talking about a minute ago. It was 2 days ago.
Oh, Selena?
No, the cute winter boots.
Oh, yeah, cute.
And it is a group of radical liberals that want to. That was their code word for getting together. Everybody that's going to be a part of this, hashtag cute winter boots. When you hashtag, I know you know this, but maybe some don't. When you hashtag something, it kind of goes into a category, a group of things.
Yeah.
You can,
Excuse me.
If I put out a video and hashtagged it, Texas weather, Texas whatever.
Right.
Later down the road, you could type in that hashtag, and mine probably won't be the only video,
right?
But somewhere in that group, my video, because of hashtag that would show up. Well, they were calling for them to go to different capital cities or state capitals and take it over.
There you go.
Take it over.
That's a great idea.
There was one guy that was in the cute winter boots that actually got visited by the Secret Service because he threatened Trump's life.
Oh, and on
the social media, and they went and visited him.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
And I haven't heard what has happened, but I don't think they brought tea and crumpets.
No, I'm sure they didn't show up to the house with wine and flowers.
No. How you doing this afternoon, Mr. Whatever his name was? I don't even know what. But yeah, the same group of people that thinks all guns ought to be illegal, the same group of people that thinks anybody that is a man that has any
toxic
mentality or toxic masculinity, it just blows my mind that they think for 1 minute, first off, that they can be physical.
Right.
That they can
that's the funny part about it.
You blue-haired, oat milk drinking fool, get your latte and go somewhere about yourself.
Right.
Go to your trigger spot, your quiet area, and have a scream. And leave warfare to real men. This is silly, y'all.
Yeah.
This is ridiculously silly.
Well, and it's like the whole summer of love with Antifa. And you see these kids out there all dressed in black with their black helmet. Their arms are like that big around, and they're twigs. And
they're the same ones you see on social media putting out the ninja video and hit you with the nunchuck.
Yeah.
I watched the Antifa training video on sticks, and the guy hit his buddy with the stick.
There was no training whatsoever.
They weren't combating.
Yeah.
His buddy was standing back here, fixing
God.
his Antifa mask, and the kid swung back like that and whacked the heck out of him. I mean,
well, do you remember the black militia group that was in Washington D.C. and they had an accidental discharge and the guy shot one of his buddies?
Yes.
I mean,
big accident discharge. Did you see where the cop shot the guy in the leg with his own gun?
Yeah. She's taking it out of his holster.
Yes.
Oh my goodness!
Another reason why.
All right,
your 6 weeks of training does not trump my 61 years.
Time out.
Get off of me.
Let me jump on my bandwagon here.
All right.
So for those of you that haven't seen the video, this guy gets pulled over. The officer asks him if he has a firearm. The guy's like, yeah, I do.
Once again, why you're honest with the police, I don't know.
Well. He says, I've got a license to carry, and I'm carrying, and it's on my hip. And cop says, all right, for our own safety, I'm going to get you out of the car. I'm going to disarm you, okay? And the guy's like, yeah, sure.
Let me pause you right there.
He's cool about it.
I love that. For our own safety.
Yeah. Knowing the end of the story.
For officer safety, well, it's not just the end of that story. Well, the reason I'm carrying a gun every single day is for my safety.
Right.
Your safety doesn't trump mine.
So
it does not.
So he gets him out of the vehicle, and by this time a second officer, and this is not relevant, but female officer shows up, and he tells her, he says, yeah, he's got a gun on him. He's real cool. This cop
unbelievably compliant.
Yeah, and the first cop is just cool as a cucumber. He's like he's cooperative. He's good.
This guy is more compliant than I was when they wanted to take my gun off me. I told that cop, no, I don't know why you have a reason.
Yeah.
And then I also told him, you have just made sure that I will never in my life be honest with another police officer. Ever.
So she goes to disarm him, and as she's fiddling around trying to get this gun out of the holster for a while, and all of a sudden the firearm discharges, shoots this dude in the leg. Now here's my soapbox. The 4 rules of firearm safety. Number 1, treat every firearm as though it's loaded. Always know the condition of your firearm. Number 2, never point your firearm at something you're not willing to destroy. Number 3, keep your booger picker off the bang switch until you're ready to unleash hell. Or to put it in a little more professional manner, keep your finger off the trigger until your sights are aligned and the decision to fire has been made.
Keep the booger picker off the bang switch, y'all.
And number 4 is Delilah's calling me. Number 4 is know what's to the left, to the right, behind your target. You're responsible for every round that goes down range.
Absolutely.
Now, if that, it is impossible for that Glock that he had, that has the internal safety and is a striker-fired weapon, to have gone off unless that officer's finger was on the trigger.
That's exactly right.
She doesn't know the 4 universal firearm safety laws.
So untrained.
Yeah.
So and for officer safety, we're going to shoot you.
Yeah. Yeah,
you
with your own gun.
He wasn't
while it's still in your holster.
Once they shot him, though, he was much more easier to deal with. He was laying on the ground over there, getting a tourniquet put on, and yeah, I mean,
he wasn't hard to deal with to begin with.
Well, but just in case.
Yeah.
He was black and all.
Just absolute insanity.
I mean, he was a black guy with a gun.
Well, I'll tell you what.
You must shoot him.
Now he's a black guy with a gun and a huge paycheck.
A huge lawsuit.
Yeah.
But just horrible, man. I don't think that that's constitutional. That's an illegal search and seizure. And that's what I told that cop when I said, that's not constitutional.
Yeah.
And he said, well, officer safety. I said, officer safety is made up.
Yeah.
That's a made up term.
You don't find that in the Constitution.
That's a made up term, made up by officers. And I understand officer safety. We need to do everything in our power to make sure that our officers who do go out every single day and put their life on the line to keep citizens safe, we need to make sure that they stay safe in a reasonable manner.
Right. You know, the interesting thing is, in every interaction I've ever had with law enforcement, every interaction I've ever had with law enforcement, I've always told them that I was armed. And I've never had one try to disarm me.
Well, that's the only time I've ever had one disarm me, and he's ruined me forever.
Yeah.
When I got pulled over just the other night. Officer, you know what? I'm going to get a hold of this cop's. You probably know how to do that. Who's in charge? Who do I get a hold of? Like, if you got a complaint on a cop, Wichita Falls cop, who will you get a hold of?
One of the deputy chiefs.
Okay. And the same guy, if you don't have a complaint, you just want to tell. I want to tell his chief what a professional young man he was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also he didn't ask me if I was armed, and I didn't tell him.
Yeah.
I just didn't. But he was so professional. I had a blinker out. I've got a bulb that's out. It was 12 degrees outside.
You told me about this.
Completely meat.
Yeah.
Completely meat. I had a bulb went out, and I knew it when I left my house.
Right.
Because when I went to turn out the driveway,
you get that fast blinker.
Well, I have an actual indicator. Like when you turn your blinker on, the arrow shows.
Yeah.
Because this bulb out, the arrow's constantly lit up. So when you turn your key on, you turn your headlights on, that arrow lights up. And you're like, what is that for? Well, that's telling you you've got an issue with that side of your blinker.
Yeah.
And so I turned that on, and I looked. I was like, hey, God, that blinker's out. But it was cold.
Yeah.
It was real cold, and I didn't change it.
Right.
And I went about my business, and he was behind me, and I went to make a left-hand turn. And I did turn my blinker on just out of muscle memory.
Sure.
Habit. And but it didn't operate. It didn't work.
Yeah.
So what he saw back there was no blinker.
Yeah.
And he pulled me over, and he said, hey, reason I pulled you over, you got a blinker out. I said, you know how funny that is? I said, and he said, you didn't use your turn signal. I said, well, I did. And I'm not arguing with you.
Yeah.
I said, because from your view, I didn't. And I showed him.
Yeah.
And he's like, yo, I see that. I see it. I said, if I turn my lights off, my headlights off, I'll get a blinker back there. But because this is just, I don't know, part of the Chevrolet system, I don't know.
Yeah.
I said, it's telling me that I have an issue. And he was so professional. He ran my tags and he ran my license like he should.
Yeah.
And then when he came back and he's like, I'm just going to give you a warning. He said, we have to do written warnings because it documents the stop.
Yeah.
And just, I don't know, more.
Well, and the funny part is you told him, yeah, I know it's out, but I didn't change it because it's cold.
And that's, I told him. I knew it was out. I said, but it's cold. He said, yes, it is. But he was very informative. He gave a lot more information to me than he probably had to. If he was one of those arrogant, ego-stricken cops, it wouldn't have been like this. It wouldn't have been that interaction. And just a polite young man.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. I truly do. And I want to get a hold of him. It's been like 2 weeks.
Do you know his name so that you can?
I do.
Okay.
I do. And I'll say it right here. His name was Officer Vasquez.
Okay.
And I kept the warning ticket.
Yeah.
Normally, I just throw it in the trash. It's just, I don't have to do anything with it.
Right.
But I kept it. I didn't just keep it like it's in the floorboard.
Right.
It's up in the visor because I am going to get a hold of this guy. I keep seeing all these videos about these cops getting complaints on them. What a horrible job they've done.
Yeah.
And I'm for that. I'm for that.
Yeah.
If that cop's done a horrible job,
Here's
he
the thing,
needs
man.
to be put on notice.
Lloyd, if you're a cop, if you're a waiter or a waitress,
I just need to say, how many times have you gone into a restaurant and went and found the manager because you were so impressed with the waiter or the
100%.
waitress? And this is where I'm at with this.
I don't care what you do for a living. If you do a crappy job, then
you need to be called out.
You need to be called out. If you do a phenomenal job, you need to be called out. Yeah.
Well, this guy, I don't know. I keep seeing the videos about, and there are a lot of bad interactions. There are a lot of cops that are untrained.
Yeah.
There are a lot of cops that they think because they have a badge and a gun,
right,
that they now write the law.
Yeah. And
anything they say is law.
Right.
I was watching one just the other day, and I just could not believe that a lieutenant was saying this, but the captain came out and squared him up. This guy was in, it's one of them guys, the auditors.
Yeah.
And some of them, I agree with the way they do them. Some of them, they're just
jerks.
Some of them are just jerks, yeah. Just jerks. Like you said, if that's your job, do it well.
Yeah.
But no part of your job says be a complete jerk to everybody you run into.
Right.
And this guy, he's not. He's not. He's I watch a couple of them. This one's a Bay City auditor. I like him, and I like the Long Island auditor.
We had an auditor come to Wichita Falls here several months ago.
Really?
And and information went through all the law enforcement in the area saying, all right, be on the lookout for this guy. He shows up. He's driving a car. He's got a helmet on with a GoPro on it, and then he's wearing a tactical vest with a body cam on it.
Yeah.
And he went into the city hall in Wichita Falls and raised a big stink and tried to bait officers. And
see, I don't like those.
Yeah, no,
I don't dig those. Go in and treat people with respect. If there's rules that they're breaking or procedures they're not following, then yes, they need to be called out because they're paid by our money.
Right. Sure
our
enough.
money.
Sure enough.
But this lieutenant, this guy was in a public accessible parking lot with no signs that said no trespassing or no signs that said authorized personnel or none of that. Just wide open. Anybody could walk in, drive in, or do whatever. Matter of fact, in the corner of the parking lot, there was a part of it. It was visitors parking.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much says public area.
Yeah.
And this guy is videoing in this public area, and his goal is to actually not contact any police. He doesn't want a confrontation.
Right.
He wants to go in, film these cars, and be left alone because that's the way it should be.
Mm-hmm.
He's not doing anything illegal. When you see somebody riding a bicycle down the street, you don't pull them over just because they're riding a bicycle.
Yeah.
They're not doing an illegal activity. Leave these people alone.
Sure.
And so this cop comes up to him and he says, hey, he said, well, can I help you? And he said, no, I'm all right. He said, and he's very forthcoming with what he's doing. He said, I'm an auditor, and all I'm doing is, he said, I'm going through your parking lot and I'm filming city vehicles, looking at the tires and the interiors of the cars. And this shouldn't be a mess. It shouldn't look like, some crackhead's car out there. It shouldn't be running on bald tires. We pay a lot of money in taxes to maintain our vehicles.
Yeah.
We rely on those vehicles.
Yeah.
Your tires aren't bald, so the city's tires shouldn't be either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the guy was like, well, I can appreciate that. He said, but I can't have you in this parking lot. And he said, why not?
I can't have you.
Yeah. And he said, well, why not? And he says, well, it's a restricted area. And the guy, he goes, oh. This guy's very polite. He really is. Until you get him to that edge. Yeah. When you get him to that edge, he's kind of a jerk, and I don't blame him at all. Every time I've seen him be a jerk, he's got more patience than I do. Because I'd have went off way before he did.
Remember Happy Feet?
The movie?
The movie. The thing was, don't push me because I'm close to the edge.
Well, so anyway, this cop, he said, well, I can't have you back here. And he said, I didn't see any signs that caused this restriction. He says, matter of fact, there's a visitors parking right there. Where do the public go if they're coming to access this building? He said, well, that's got nothing to do with me and you. He said, I'm just telling you, I can't have you back here. And he said, well, I don't think you're correct, so I'm going to continue on what I'm doing. And he said, And of course there was a back and forth argument.
Sure.
You know, I am correct. No, you're not. I am correct. And
Yeah.
finally the guy was like, he said,
because I said so.
yeah, because I said, and he said, look, he said, why do you think that you have the authority to tell me that I can't be in this area? And he says, because I'm a cop and I work here. He said, so just because you're a cop and you work here, that gives you authority over any citizen. He said, any citizen, this is what the cop said, any citizen that I deem necessary. This is the mentality of a lieutenant.
Good answer. Good answer.
So how does all the people below him think exactly that same way? And that's, you know, but Mr.
Well, it's like
Officer Vasquez,
it's like
polar opposite of everything you see on video,
it's
man.
like that deputy chief you pointed out to me when they got him on the stand and asked him what the Miranda rights were, and he couldn't answer that question.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I've been a cop, let me see, how many? Oh, never. And I know these things. You know what I mean? This guy was a deputy chief for 26 years.
Yeah, yeah.
And he didn't know what probable cause was. He didn't know what Miranda rights was.
Oh, my goodness.
Just crazy, man.
But you know what? Like, whenever we have these conversations, it's been a while since we've had these conversations. But whenever we've had these conversations, we've talked about the fact that there are people in every profession that just suck. And it's the same in law enforcement.
And the sad thing is, man, is this is society's fault.
Yeah, 100%.
Because society
100%.
Right now has
created it.
Well, it's not just that. Society right now has created a situation where the company we work for can't find people. McDonald's can't find people. Nobody can find people.
The standard is here, and your workforce is here.
Yes.
So rather than bring them up, we're going to lower our standard.
Lower the standard. Yeah. And then when we recruit even lower.
Well, it's, I brought this up before, but I heard that radio commercial when the deputy, or, the chief of police of Dallas, Texas, and got on the radio, and she said, not every felony will keep you from being a law enforcement officer.
Let's lower the standard.
Yeah.
And then, if you want to dig into a rabbit hole, let's see how many civil rights cases does Dallas Police Department have against them right now.
Wouldn't that be fun?
I don't know the answer.
Yeah, no doubt.
But I imagine it's a lot. You hear about it, you see about it all the time.
Do you remember? I don't know if this will ring a bell to you because you've never been in that. But I remember when I was a cop, you weren't allowed to have a tattoo below the short sleeves.
I remember that. You had a certain appearance.
Now there are cops with neck tattoos.
Dude, they look like gang members.
Yeah.
They look, the same tattoos that they used to photograph to identify gang members. Now they have. Gets the cops like, dude, that's a good looking tattoo.
Yeah,
Where'd you get that done?
Yeah.
They look like thug members. And they act that way too.
Yeah. Some of them.
Act like thug members.
All right. Oh man, let's talk about Tom Holman and Selena Gomez.
Yeah.
So Selena Gomez, if you haven't seen it, I'm sure you have. There's this viral video. She's snotting and sobbing, and you can barely understand what she's saying.
No, and
we
looking at the camera.
Yeah, I heard this one commentator on the news said, if you ever find yourself alone in a room sobbing and recording yourself and posting it, you're doing something wrong.
Stop. Yeah.
She immediately took it down because she got ratioed.
But it was too late.
Yeah,
that's what the internet does.
It is definitely too late. And Tom Holman, they showed him that video and he actually started laughing. Yeah, it's just funny.
It's not her. Where were her tears for the 350,000 kids that were lost and missing?
Where were her tears for Laken Riley and that 12-year-old little girl that was gang raped and beaten to death?
17 minutes.
Beaten to death.
17 minutes she fought for her life.
12-year-old little girl had skin under her fingernails and there were bite marks.
And where were the tears for that? Like I said, 75,000 children have been found. Mass amounts of fentanyl have been pulled off our streets. I say keep going. I say if they need a little bit of money, let's start a GoFund page for the government.
Yeah.
And I'll pitch in for
I'm
that.
telling you, 100%.
It is making our streets safer. It's making our America safer. And there are people against it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Have you seen some of the just meltdowns that the libs are having?
We got the Illinois governor.
Yeah.
Allowing,
J.D. Pritzker.
allowing prisoners to hide in jail and then allowing them to change their names and get driver's license.
Yeah.
How is this not federally illegal? How is this not treason, dude?
I guarantee you, in the short term, one of these mayors or one of these governors is going to cross that line, and Tom Holman is going to do what he said he was going to do and lock them up.
I don't see Tom Holman as a man that just runs his track.
No, he is not. And neither is Donald Trump.
No, he's not. And that's obvious. That's one of the things that we are this is amazing. These, 10 days? First time in my life I've seen a politician fulfilling the promises that he ran on. First time ever.
And the press doesn't even know how to react to how accessible he is.
Oh, dude, he was doing press conferences while he was signing executive orders, taking free will questions from anybody.
And
speaking of press,
so much fun. He's doing I don't know how many times he did this, but he's sitting there and he's signing these executive orders, and you got that dude over there, and he says, all right, this one is, we're releasing 23 people that were arrested for this is a good one. People are really going to like this one. He loves it. He's doing commentary on every single one of them.
He loves it, dude. But anyway, the press, man.
Yeah.
Have you this new press secretary?
Oh, she's a dude.
What a darling.
A beast.
She's a darling.
Yeah.
I love her.
Oh, yeah.
I love her. She is
Caroline Levitt.
She is unbelievably personable.
Yeah.
She is knowledgeable.
But she's not a lesbian of color.
Well, I don't care. That's the whole thing.
Exactly.
I don't care what she eats for a snack.
Right.
I don't care.
Yeah.
And I don't care what color what she's eating. I don't care where she's wearing, what she's wearing, where she lives, or what she drives. And I don't care. What I care about.
Where's the binder?
Yeah, I don't care about the binder either. What I care about is this person that is paid by my money.
Yeah.
Sits up there and doesn't lie to me.
Does a great job.
Does a fantastic job.
Yeah.
And she doesn't lie to me.
Right. Isn't that amazing?
Repeatedly, over and over, about the same thing. And when she was calling on the reporters, one lady goes, huh? She called on the reporter and she goes, huh? That's
because she's never been called on before.
And then she apologized. She said, I'm sorry, that's not the answer I should have had. I've just never been called on.
Yeah. Isn't that something?
That's amazing. Her answer as a professional reporter standing at the White House briefing.
Yeah.
And she went, huh? Me? Oh, wow.
All right, I'm going to do an imitation. Tell me who I am. The president has made it very clear he is not going to pardon his son.
Oh, Lord, yeah. And then have you seen our new people that have been invited to the press?
Yes. Yeah, they're bringing in like streamers and
podcasters.
Yeah.
Podcasters.
Yeah.
But that's smart, man.
It is.
That's where a lot of news is disseminated.
We're going to see Joe Rogan in the press pool.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's possible.
Maybe. He's a little too big for
that. Yeah.
One of his people will be there.
Yeah. Yeah, sure enough.
Some of these creators that I watch on the TikTok and Facebook and the other little streamers, they're going to be either represented or be there.
Yeah.
And that's where we get our news. That's why they wanted to ban TikTok in the first place, is because we communicate too freely through that thing. Don't give me the Chinese BS because we're watching it on a Chinese phone. Get recording this on a Chinese phone.
And which is powered, by the way, by
Chinese infrastructure.
Yeah, sure
on
enough.
Our Chinese mics.
Yeah.
My Chinese body cam.
Oh, man.
Hey, man, have you seen, totally off subject.
This is one of those days.
Yeah. Have you seen about the girl that is suing? She's a rapper. And she's suing Lyft.
Yes. Yeah, she's like 450 pounds.
On a good day.
Yeah. And
he said, you can't get in my car.
Yeah. It was
an
Uber.
I can fit.
She called for an Uber, and the car he drives, they broke this down on the news. It's a Toyota, what is it?
Corolla.
No,
something like that.
It's the one that the liberals drive. Anyways, little sedan, and the maximum payload for this vehicle is 1,000 pounds. and she's 500 pounds, and he's 200 pounds. He pulls up, and she's standing there, and he goes, "Nope."
And he told her flat out, "My tires won't be able to take it."
Yeah. And so she's suing him and Uber.
She's suing them all.
That's just funny.
And the government, this is another funny one.
Oh,
the
man.
government is looking for volunteer positions
Okay.
as a translator.
Huh.
Guess what you're translating? Cursive writing.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, my gosh, that's just sad.
Cursive writing.
That is sad.
They're trying to digitalize everything, and they are. Dude, I'm telling you, there's a push to get rid of cursive writing, and there's a reason. If you can't read it, and nobody in the country can read it,
right?
Except for me,
you can't read
and these other
founding
4
documents.
people. That's it.
Yeah.
And he said, "We'll read it to you."
Yeah. Which is
I can make it say anything I want to.
Let me go down a rabbit hole on that.
Let's change the words in the Second Amendment.
Every cult teaches their people, don't read it for yourself. You're not qualified.
Let me interpret.
I will interpret it for you.
That's right.
And that's exactly what you see taking place. You're right.
Yes. You're right, old man.
Speaking of which, great-grandfather. Just had to throw that
Speaking of which, I got a list here, dude. A list. Talk about the New York Post and what they did on the inauguration photo.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
They cropped out all the black people.
Yeah.
They went in and digitally manipulated the photo and said it's the boys club come to town or something negative, something derogative, the dream team or something like that. But they purposely eliminated anybody in there that was black. Now, who's the racist?
Yeah, exactly.
Who's the racist? Well, you're trying to portray Trump to be a racist, and then in order to make your argument more valid, you manipulate the photo.
Well, and during the inauguration, I can't think of her name. She's Oprah Winfrey's best friend. She's a journalist.
The ham girl? No, that's baked ham. I'm thinking you said Oprah Winfrey baked. I thought baked ham. Right off the bat. My bad.
Yeah, and Joy King. But anyways, she's doing commentary live, and she says, "I just can't help but notice the lack of diversity." You know what? Byron Donalds was sitting right there in the front row. It was a black representative. There were quite a few people of color. Don't you love that term, people of color? By the way, you know what?
I'm color too.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a color.
Yeah.
I don't know what color it is, but it's a color.
You get so sick
I
of
know.
it. Morgan Freeman and Denzel Washington pretty much sum up this racism.
Stop talking about
Quit it. Knock it off.
Yeah. It's that simple.
Yeah.
It's that simple. If I see a movie that's coming out and Denzel Washington's in it, I don't even care what it's about. I want to see it.
I want to check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman's the same way.
Yeah. Denzel Washington could make a movie where he's doing nothing but sitting down and reading through the Dallas phone book, and I would watch it.
Wow.
Because
I want to watch the trailer first.
he put a good spin on it.
That's why I'd want to watch the trailer first.
It's just crazy. Yeah.
Let's talk about some executive orders.
All right.
One of the ones that I am so impressed with that the media is just blowing up is the government spending policy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what that stopped? And I want anybody watching this, or if you know anybody, talk to everybody you know. I want one person, just one person, that would agree or would say that this was a bad idea.
Right.
One person.
Yeah.
They were going to spend $50 million to provide condoms in Gaza.
Yeah, in Gaza. Yeah. Elon Musk found that.
Yes, he did. He's the one that found it.
He's the one that pointed that out. $50 million to buy Trojans.
First off, I don't know how many condoms that is. Second off, that's a lie.
Yeah.
You're not spending that much on condoms. You may have labeled it.
Right.
But who else is getting money? Who's getting rich off the condom purchase?
Time out. Let me ask you a question, Lloyd. What possible circumstance could exist in Gaza right now that requires $50 million worth of party balloons.
I don't believe it's the summer of love in Gaza.
No, I don't think so.
It's just more scam from the government.
It's just stupid. It's liberal, stupid crap.
Well, they're doing everything they can, or they did everything they can to try to spend as much money as they could before Trump got in office.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it came out from the Oval Office. Probably not Biden, but somebody in the Oval Office came out right before the inauguration and said, spend everything you can.
Yeah.
Burn through every dime that you can.
And that's just unbelievable. This is America's future.
Yeah, well,
that you are being directed to burn.
Your dollars. It's your money.
Yeah. Let's burn it all up.
Yeah. But you know what, Lloyd? You and I both served in the Army. You come to the end of the fiscal year and there's a panic. It's called use it or lose it.
Yeah.
If you have a certain amount of money budgeted to your unit and you haven't exhausted the money that was budgeted to your unit, then all of a sudden your budget will be cut the next year.
That's right.
And so the command staff blows through that money. They will buy fuel. And they will go out into the field, dig a hole, and dump the fuel in the hole just so that they can spend that money.
I understand that.
Yeah, but the system is broken.
The system is broken.
Yeah.
Because just because we didn't burn through all of our money this year doesn't mean
we won't need it next year. Because we don't know what's going to happen.
Just that blanket of, oh, you didn't use it all, we're cutting your budget. Yeah. That's just horrible. So then you cause a guy to be like, I'm panicking because next year's budget's going to be bigger. We always have, two winners that are pretty mild and then a bad one.
Right.
And we didn't use all of our stuff for this last two winters.
And let your GP medium, the tents, those things are phenomenal. They're tough as all get out. But eventually they're going to break down and you're going to have to replace them.
Sure.
There's money in the budget for that. And your budget gets cut and your tents go down. Now you're stuck.
Yeah. And you wish I wish we'd have cheated last time to keep our budget.
It's insane.
So the whole system. But that's the system that our Doge group is going to look at. And fix and make more efficient.
Yeah.
But I am I'm stoked
Pete
about
Hegseth came out in an interview with Will Cain on the Fox News Network. And Will Cain and Pete Hegseth are good friends, because Pete Hegseth used to be at Fox News, and him and Will Cain are real good friends. And Will Cain got the first interview with the new Secretary of Defense, and one of the things they discussed, one of the things they talked about, is that the Department of Defense is going to investigate General Mark Milley and determine whether or not he is to retain his rank in retirement. Yeah. Yeah. They pulled the portrait down like 3 days after it got put up. That's funny.
And they also took his, didn't they pull his
security clearance. They've already taken
everybody's yelling about that. Are you kidding? People get their security clearance removed all the time. You've reached the end of your tenure, the end of your end. You're done. You don't need it no more. It's not something that is tacked onto you for life.
Lloyd, I had a top secret security clearance when I was a bodyguard for a general officer. You know what? The day I left that office, I didn't have that security clearance anymore. Yeah, it wasn't punishment.
No. You were done with it.
Yeah.
You were done with that and moving on to something different. And if you'd have needed a different security clearance, you'd have went through that process.
Exactly.
And carried on.
It's so funny. I'll never forget when I got sent to that training to become a bodyguard. I graduated AIT. I was, yesterday I could not spell MP, and today I R1.
Yeah.
And then I get shipped up to Fort Belvoir, Virginia, and I wasn't allowed to call home for a couple of weeks. I wasn't allowed any outside contact. And I remember when I finally got the opportunity to call home, I remember talking to Mom. I called and she was so excited to hear from me because she was wondering what happened. And I told her, I said, I'm in this special training. And she says, so is that why the FBI is in town talking to your elementary school teachers? You remember that? The FBI came to Little Burt Burnett and was talking to just about everybody that knew me because it was a security clearance.
Security clearance.
Oh, man, that's funny stuff.
Have you seen on our social media once again? Have you seen the
goodness
the liberal teachers?
Oh, I have not.
Well, they are they have thrown down the gauntlet.
Oh boy.
To ICE and Mr. Tom and anybody else that wants to come get people that don't belong here. He says, if you try to come in, which nobody's gone in any school, but anyway, if you try to come into our school, you better be ready.
Oh yeah.
They're going to arm up and defend the illegal migrants. Now, they wouldn't arm up and defend American kids.
No, they
wouldn't have nothing to do with that. They just want to take everybody's guns.
Well, let's go back to what you were talking about.
They want to take everybody's guns. Now they're going to hold guns.
Let's go back to what you were talking about
and shoot at a government official.
Where were these people volunteering to step up with the missing children?
I know. Yeah. Where is that Miss Liberal teacher with her flag on her wall?
Yeah.
When 350,000 missing kids were being sexually exploited or trafficked out to the trades. Right. You know, where was your tears then?
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it.
No, not.
I don't want to hear it from none of y'all. And I'll tell you in a minute exactly what I think. Mm-hmm. And I'll need forgiveness when I get through. I get so angry about it. Your false tears, your crocodile virtue signaling. Yep. You know, I don't care.
Selena Gomez is just sobbing over the fact that criminals are being arrested.
I like what they said in Congress. They talked about the ones in Congress. They had that congressional hearing and says, well, they were asking Holman about the criminals, or the people that, you know, the ones that he has already arrested. Out of that, there was one group they're talking about. There was like 1,000. Out of that, there were 400 that weren't didn't have additional charges.
Right, weren't charged with additional crimes.
And he said, well, what about those? Those aren't criminals. And he said, they broke the law when they entered the country. Y'all aren't getting this at all. When you enter the country illegal, you've broken the law and are subject to our laws.
Yeah. Well, and he even said, I mean, he has emphasized, you know, even before the inauguration, even before he started working, when he was named, he emphasized our priority.
That's right.
The priority are people that have committed violent crimes after they broke the law to get into our country.
And I understand.
But he said, if I go in and I arrest Lloyd because Lloyd is charged with a crime, and Lloyd is there with Clay, who also broke the law to get in the country, Clay's going away too.
And that just makes sense. Yeah. Why would you come back to the second location after? I mean, why?
Yeah.
Why? Just ridiculous.
I know it,
just ridiculous. I just can't get over.
But here's the thing: it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No.
The liberals are screaming and they're gnashing their teeth and they're weeping and they're and Tom Holman's grinning and just continued plowing forward.
My evenings are filled with joy because of liberal tears.
Oh, I'm telling you,
they really are. And that's sad to say, but
it is fun. It's fun to watch. Oh my goodness!
Hey, did you see something completely unrelated? You see, we done set a new record, a new standard, a bar. The bar is unbelievably high now in snowboarding.
I have not seen that.
If you don't watch snowboarding, you need to. You really need to. These kids are amazing.
Oh yeah,
It just blows my mind.
I have seen it.
It blows my mind what they can do on a pack of snow and this little board cut with some you know this little board. You know what a 360 is?
Yeah.
They go up and do one circle.
Yeah.
That was amazing the first time somebody done it.
Uh-huh.
The first time somebody reached up 12 foot up out of that little pike and came back down and landed it.
Remember that redheaded kid that used to...
Sean.
Sean, yeah.
Sean,
he was in the Olympics.
He was one of my all-time, still is one of my all-time favorites, man. I watch a lot of them guys, and that's just neat. Well, there's a new kid in town. I don't even know what his name is. That's how new he is. He did a 360 is one circle.
Right.
This fool comes off this ramp and does, I got to read it over and over because I can't believe it in my head, a 2340.
My math isn't very good.
6.5 times.
Oh, wow.
And it's intentional.
I'd be dizzy.
And he lands it and then throws his hands up because he knew he just killed everybody.
Yeah,
nobody's ever done that in competition or not in competition.
Right.
2,340 degree spinning.
Yeah.
6.5 times around.
Wow.
Just unbelievable. If you'd have said that just 3 years ago, hey, I'm going to do a 6.5-er. They'd have said, no worries, we got the ambulance here.
Yeah.
When you land all crazy and break half your limbs off, we'll be right there together.
But you know what?
It would have just been so bizarre.
There was a guy in a different sport that's somewhat related that really, I give him credit for what these kids are doing. Tony Hawk.
Oh,
On
sure.
skateboard.
Sure.
Tony Hawk.
He revolutionized.
Yeah, he invented all of this. You know, I mean, this snowboarding is simply skateboarding without wheels.
Yeah.
And, you know, and a softer landing.
You ain't kidding. Sometimes I've seen them guys cartwheel.
Oh yeah,
that didn't look good.
Yeah,
but I just blows me away, dude. That you know the human body, what you can push it to.
It's amazing. Absolutely
what you can push
amazing.
it to, and what is like motocross when they used to go with the big jumps and they kick that rear wheel way out. Now they're doing flips.
Now they're coming off the ramp, letting go of their motorcycle, hovering above it, and then grabbing it again.
There's a new guy. There
Have you seen the ones that let go and grab the seat and pull it back to them?
That's called Superman. That's old stuff.
That's
so 3 years ago. I ain't kidding you, Clay. I'm not kidding you. If you did that now, it'd be like,
isn't that cute?
Yeah, that'd be Isn't that cute? There was Travis Pastrami. Not pastrami, like the sandwich.
Yeah.
And he's a phenom, dude. He revolutionized. He's the first one that ever did a front flip, which
like a gainer.
In physics shouldn't be able to happen.
Right.
But he did a front flip. And but now there's a new guy. He does a double back flip, lets go of the bike, hangs off the side, waves at the crowd, and then throws it back underneath him. He'll do the front, he'll do a single front flip, land on the handlebars, and ride down the ramp on the handlebars. It blows you away what these kids can do nowadays. We used to ride our little bicycles and do the little ramps out there behind the boys club.
Yeah,
we thought we was something.
Oh, we were.
Not anymore.
Oh man.
Here's another funny story. A man faces assault charges.
Okay.
After a DWI. Okay, he gets arrested, gets pulled over, and he's drunk. There's no question about it.
No question.
He's tanked up. And then the cop gets him out, and he's sloshy drunk. He's like that. You don't even want to deal with that kind of person. And I feel bad for the police that have to deal with people like that. You know, they're puking on themselves, and they can't stand up, and they can't walk, and they can't speak. And well, he gets the guy in the car. There's not like a bunch of fighting.
Yeah.
The guy's not like cooperative because he's so drunk he can't even walk.
Right.
So he's not cooperative. If I was going to help you to the living room and your legs were like so
rubber,
you wouldn't be very cooperative helping me. You know what I mean? It wasn't like you were being combative. You wasn't helping the situation.
Right.
So anyway, he gets him in his car, and the guy passes gas. It's so bad the cop throws up, and he throws assault the guys that he's literally. This is a true story.
Oh my
He's
goodness.
facing assault charges for passing gas. Now, come on.
Yeah, that won't go anywhere.
Come on, man.
I arrested this guy years ago. Obviously, years ago. I don't even know. I have to say years ago. We all know it was years ago. When I was in Louisville, I arrested this guy. He was drunk. He was, drunk. And I get him back to the substation. I'm writing up the paperwork, and I'm talking to him. And just out of the blue, he looks at me. He goes, "You are the nicest cop that's ever locked me up."
I got to following this person on Facebook. I think I thought, or not Facebook. What's the other? TikTok.
Oh, okay.
And her name is Mississippi Mama. She's supposed to be watching her podcast now.
Yeah.
Maybe she shout out.
If you are, welcome. Glad to have you.
And I enjoy her TikTok.
Yeah.
She's a nurse. And she always has her phone, and she'll have somebody in the background. She'll be like this.
Yeah.
And she'll say, you see part of her face and then whoever back here. And she'll be like, did you know?
Okay.
Some kind of deal. And you know I like those anyway.
Yeah.
And the first one I ever saw, she was talking about, did you know something? And the coworker said, well, did you know where vanilla comes from? We covered that on one of our podcasts. So I reached out to her because of that. Anyway, she's been sending me some different ones. And this one kind of blows my mind. Did you know that your blood travels more than 60,000 miles throughout your body? That's amazing.
Yeah.
60,000 miles of blood vessel.
Yeah.
And you're not created.
Yeah, exactly.
You just fell together.
Isn't chance great?
Out of goo. That's amazing. That's just amazing. Yeah.
By the way, I just assaulted you.
Oh no. Yeah, it's just amazing. But yeah, her little videos are so good. I like videos like that. she's not up there trying to be controversial about
Right?
nothing.
No.
She's not up there with her purple hair or crying or asking for money.
Right.
She's
entertaining.
Much like this podcast.
Yeah.
I don't think she really cares if anybody watches it or not. She's just going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's more fun for her and her little coworkers in that office. She's in a doctor's office.
Yeah.
It seems like it's more fun for them than putting it out on social media.
Right.
She just, I don't know. She's just enjoyable.
And she goes home at night and she researches the next one.
She's in it. She's in it without a doubt. She tells you where a lot of it is medical.
Yeah.
Where the name morphine comes from and just different medical stuff, man.
Yeah. Did you know most medical terms come from Greek?
Yes.
Yeah.
Morphine comes from the Greek god Morpheus.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the Morpheus was the god of sleep.
Well, there you go.
And I got that from her.
Yeah.
I got that from her. Did you know that we have a Department of Metric Conversion Resistance?
I did not. This is a federal government job.
Yes.
So
it is to resist us from taking on the metric system.
Right. Back in Jimmy Carter's day.
We fund them $3 million every year.
Yeah.
To resist decimal points.
Yeah.
$3 million.
Which we did resist back in the 70s.
Thought that was way done.
Yeah.
But we still spent, so it's in the 70s. Now we're in the 2025.
Yeah.
How much dollars have poured into the resistance?
We need to talk about this. So you're out looking for a job and you see this opportunity to work for the federal government.
That's all right.
Yeah.
That's a good job, steady pay, health benefits, we got retirement.
That's right.
Oh yeah, let's go. Okay, what is
it? You're going to resist the metric system.
What do you mean? You mean like
this is your career?
Decibel.
This is your career.
There'll be nothing but feet over here.
I'm picturing this guy getting up in the morning, putting on a suit, patting his children on the head. Daddy loves you. He's got to go to work now. And he goes to the Office of Decimal Resistance.
I bet he has a ruler. I bet he's got a ruler.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Yeah, this is
so much waste, man. And we've talked about this before, but it's come up in the news. All of the empty office buildings,
dude. We covered that in the podcast one time.
Yeah,
we spend billions maintaining these empty
buildings, and there's something in the law that doesn't allow the government to get rid of them.
Oh, I didn't know.
We need to change that.
Yeah. What about this buyout thing that?
Yeah. Now there's a lot. Schumer said it's unconstitutional. You can't do that, and Schumer said,
"He's an idiot."
I know.
It seems like a pretty good plan to me.
I think so.
Here's what's really
and it's good for everybody.
It's good for everybody. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's good for everybody.
You're not just putting people out on the street with no notice. You're giving them 8 months severance package. It's a good deal.
But here's what I can't get. That people are so up in arms about is nobody's telling these people that are holding these positions that you're fired.
Right.
You're all still employed.
It's voluntary.
Novel idea. You could show up to work and keep your job.
Oh, I saw.
You could come to work and keep your job.
I saw this person losing their mind. They're a federal government worker. They've been working from home since 2020, and they moved. They don't live in Washington, D.C. anymore. They're not like in Illinois somewhere.
You got a heck of a
What am I going to do? Lloyd, my job requires me to drive into Wichita Falls every day, every work day.
Mine too.
If I move to Toledo, Ohio, it's going to be real hard for me to do my job.
But it's not your employer's problem.
It's not.
That you created all by yourself.
Exactly.
And it's not, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Yep. Yeah, I'm a fan of the whole buyout thing. You know, and the funny thing is, I don't know why Chuck Schumer's beating his chest and saying it's unconstitutional, because they've done it in the military for years. In the military, they offer early retirement. When we're looking at a reduction of force, one of the things they do is those that are near retirement, they'll offer them early retirement, and that's normal. Oh man, that's fun.
I've been sitting around,
Holy smoke! Look at the time.
I got lots of free time on my hands sometimes.
Yeah,
and I came up with a new invention.
Okay.
Yeah, I studied on this for a while, but
I doubt that. But go ahead.
Not long enough. I came up with a new pencil.
It
had a eraser on each end. Then I realized there was no point.
Believe it or not, old man, you need to give us your tagline.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It seems like we've been here 15 minutes, but it's been an hour and 5.
All right. Well, I got. We got.
You always got one more.
I know.
You always got one more.
This lady is hilarious. This is like my new drug. I've watched her hours. Clay, I watched her last night for probably 2 hours. She's a ventriloquist.
Okay.
But she does it very uniquely. She uses people as her dummies.
I've seen comedians that did that. Yeah.
She has this thing
that
you
right.
put
a
mask,
yeah,
and it's just from here down.
Yeah,
she runs the mouth.
I've seen that.
And you as the participating audience member, you do hand gestures, and that's it. You don't speak.
Yeah.
And then she just ad-libs, makes it all up, improvs it right there.
That's funny.
And, oh my God, dude.
That's funny.
Her and the audience, the members, the people that are participating, are a mess by the time she's done.
Oh, yeah.
They're laughing so hard, they got snot running down their face. They're a mess. She is hilarious.
I'm a fun-loving dude, but I'm not going to let somebody put
I'm not getting on stage.
Like that. Yeah.
I'm going to her show.
Yeah,
well, I'm not getting on stage.
No.
I'm going to try to get somebody that's with me to get on stage. But I'm not. I'm not. We really been here that long?
Yeah, I'm telling you, bro. Hour and 6 minutes. Give me your tag.
Well, that's all right. All right. Well, take time to be kind.
Absolutely.
Doesn't cost a nickel. Say hi to somebody. Wave at somebody. Ask somebody about how their day is.
You know what? If you've got somebody in your life that's going through something, reach out to them. Talk to them. Give them the opportunity to vent.
Yes.
Be a listening ear. And if they have a need, tell them, step up.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Help
do
somebody.
that for you.
Help somebody. Absolutely. You just never know. Even the slightest bit of help, you never know how it impacts somebody.
True enough.
Just even the slightest thing, man.
Well, folks, if you enjoy what you see, like, comment, subscribe,
do
share,
that button thing from the bottom up.
All that thing. God bless y'all. I so enjoy it. Man, I love this time that we spend with them. You know?
I do. I enjoy doing it.
We look forward to seeing you next time. God bless you guys.